Welcome back. I'm not sure what episode this is. I'm not sure what. I've kind of lost track because I'm trying to do these every week to give you updates, and actually not a lot of you watch these videos. These are probably the least. This is probably the least watched series in my whole video. So a lot of you, the few of you that do get these, you're getting like a lot of insights that not a lot of other people are getting. So thank you for watching. With that, if you haven't yet, and you're new and you're watching these videos, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit all the YouTube stuff. It does make a difference. I have crossed over 1,000 subscribers. I am actually making a few dollars. I think I've almost made $100 in the last like 60 days. So if you're wondering like what kind of money you can make on YouTube, not much. But after the government gets theirs, that's like $50 in 60 days. So that's like $25 a month. So not a lot. You could buy a Starbucks, or it could help buy some batteries for my lights in the studio. Anyways, I was hoping to record this video outside, but fall has officially set in the western slope, which means the weather is great. But here, when the clouds roll in and it's just kind of drizzly, it is not great, which you would think would make for great riding weather. It could be cool, it would be fun, the dirt would be tacky, but here the dirt's like peanut butter, and so it pretty much just cakes and you get stuck, and it's not good, and the trails get ruined, and it's awful. So you're pretty much stuck inside, so we're in the studio. So with that, things that have happened this week, we are actually dispatching product to me on Monday. Super excited for that. So that means with shipping and I don't know, with all the strikes going on at the ports, hopefully I'll actually have some physical things in hands. I have seen a lot of my manufacturing kind of lead. He's tried stuff on for me. I've actually seen it. It's labeled. It's got our tags in it. So stuff is real. It is coming. Still not styled how we want, but the initial sample runs are coming. Super cool. Now let's talk about something which leads to the title of this video. First is we did have a potential $40 loss. In these things, you never know if like a vendor or a partner is going to kind of screw you, for lack of better terms. We actually had a couple of we were getting some hoodies produced to wear, and one that I actually really liked. They started making it. It looked really good. We paid them the $40 or whatever to produce the sample, and now they've gone silent. So it doesn't mean that we have lost the $40 yet. We are still trying to communicate with them. We have a couple contacts at this manufacturer. May have potentially lost $40 in this whole thing trying to get this sample produced. We'll find out. Hopefully somebody just got sick or an emergency came up or something, and it's not actually like bad business. But if it is, we just won't do business with them. It's a $40 loss. I guess it's part of the game, but potentially have lost $40. So if you're building a business, always be careful with that. Know that that's potentially part of the whole game, is that you gotta like really vet your vendors. And my manufacturing lead, he's like, I'm working really hard to make this happen, and we have other people involved, and we're pulling some other strings just because typically he didn't expect this. It seems like this manufacturer had a decent reputation, but anyways, so we may have lost $40. And on another side note, in my other business, in my technology business, I lost a colleague this week, and I think the hardest part about it was that she was only 49 years old. She was diagnosed with colon cancer, and she passed away just this week. And when I got the phone call, it hit me really hard. And this is actually going to be terrible. So for all of you, I feel terrible about this, but the hardest part was maybe not like, honestly, this is like Brene Brown, talks about this whole idea of like being vulnerable. This is like being super vulnerable, because it sounds really terrible to say, but I think the hardest thing that hit me was maybe not her actual loss, but the age at which she died and the possible implications for me, if that makes sense, right? Like, she was not very old. She called me in July and told me she had been diagnosed with cancer, and I was like, I'm looking forward to when like you get healthy and we can go have a coffee together and like, stay strong, like just keep doing your thing. And also, like, she didn't appear to be unhealthy. I didn't know her well enough to know her like day-to-day lifestyle and like the contributing factors or her genetic history that could lead to this. But at 49, I think technically they now have like bumped the cancer screenings for colon cancer down to 45, I think, if you have a family history. But what if she didn't know? And like all of these things ran through my head, and so then just made me like really think about how numbered my days are, right? Like how little time we have on this planet, and how important it is to try to do things that are really meaningful to you. And then also, of course, dealing with the loss of a colleague that I knew pretty well, and she was actually working pretty close with us on this other project. And yeah, so it was just a tough week from that perspective, and it really messes with you mentally. And then also, like, I got diagnosed with strep, but I didn't have like a sore throat. I just had really bad headaches, and then I had to get on these antibiotics that were, I feel like the cure was worse than the disease, and it was just this whole thing. And there's this guy, Brian Johnson, love him or hate him, I don't really care what your thoughts are on him. I think he's a fascinating guy. He's basically trying to see how, potentially how can he work to slow the aging process. And all this stuff is publicly available. Anyways, if you haven't checked him out, it's worth checking out if you're interested in health and fitness. But he had a statement the other day that was, health is probably the most overlooked thing in life, or the most unimportant thing in life, until it becomes the most important thing in life. And I think about this with my colleague, in July, I think she got diagnosed roughly around the July time frame to October. That's 3 months, 4 months. And, how was that quality of life in that 4 months? Like, so like, was her life kind of over in July? Like, just all of these thoughts ran through my head. And then all of the positive side to this is that it made me really re-emphasize why, like, this video series is important. While barely anybody watches them, I still feel it's probably the most important thing I'm doing with this channel, is because hopefully if I can help one person inspire somebody to realize that they can do and live the life that they want and leave the mark and the legacy that they want, that's probably more important than anything. Because for so long I was just, a number on a spreadsheet sitting tied to a desk, and the most healthy years of my life I was giving to somebody else and in exchange for money. So if I can help anybody get out of that rut and help you transform your life and help you build something that you're passionate about and actually create some better quality of life, then I've done my job, and this whole series has been worth it. So thinking about that, in a couple of other videos I've had talked about mental setbacks, where when you're doing something, can I really do this? Is it really possible? There's, as I'm trying to set my goals and what things do we need to achieve to actually make this happen, and working backwards, all of that stuff. All of that kind of went away because I was like, I don't know how long I've got left. And so that means I got to take advantage of today, and I got to do the best I can today. And, if I'm laying on my deathbed in 20 years or 30 years or a year, whatever, am I going to regret that I tried, or am I going to regret that I didn't try? And I think it's the latter, that I didn't try. So, last follow-up note. Actually, we'll leave it at that. I will hopefully have some other updates for you there, but this one is just more of a believe in yourself. You can do it. Make it happen. If you've got a dream, you've only got one life to live, man. Make it happen. Live life for you. That's it. So, until next time, stay safe out there.